This is going to be our Urban Echoes segment in regards to women in agriculture. Um, we're here with Black Warrior from Magruder Farms, LLC, and she's going to give us a very insightful conversation, a very in depth look of what she does in her journey in agriculture, cultivating, and different things of that nature. So, it was a couple minutes. We're going to continue to spam the chat, continue to ping people in, and we will get started in about, let's say, the 5 minute mark, if that'll be all right with you all. Black Warrior, how are you? Can y'all hear me?
I'm sorry, I was connecting to my Facebook, going out to my social media. So I am wonderful. So happy to be in the room with you and your team. And yeah, just celebrating this beautiful day.
Yes, ma'am. Ladies, would y'all like to introduce yourselves first? This is a week that is based on the appreciation of the wonderful women of TOL and the wonderful Black women of our community and collective.
Hello. They call me AP. You know what I'm saying? Botany is one of my specialties, and so is toxicology. So I'm quite interested in seeing what you're talking about.
Dreams, Enchanted, Alexis, would y'all like to introduce yourselves as well?
Oh, I just got back. But hey, Black Warrior. I can't wait to hear what you have to say in the room. And I'm truly excited.
Hi, I'm Dream. I'm just excited to be here and thank you so much for taking part of your morning to be here with us in TOL.
All right, so let's get started. Black Warrior, can you tell us a few things about you before we get into the actual interview segment so people can know exactly who you are and, just basically introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, thank you, Glock. So I will start by saying I am many things. I am what, if you can look it up, I am what is known as a polymath, which doing is 5 years ago, I started on a journey where I bought initially 10 acres of family land here in Alabama. And now I've turned it into basically a self-sustaining enterprise where I now own 160 acres. And this is land that's been in my family since 1867. It's ancestral land. I purchased it from all the 57 heirs. We were all considered as heirs property. And now it's in my estate. And so that's what I do and what kind of got me on this agriculture journey. Since then, I am literally sitting in a 15,000 square foot facility in Alabama where we grow about 15,000 pounds of medical marijuana for the state of Alabama. We are licensed here in Alabama. And I am very active in the community, a very, very rural southern community where agriculture is sort of a hobby for a lot of us. And I have really come in to work with us to turn it not into to get it out of hobby status and put it into business. Because one of the things I've learned, I'm a CFO. I used to run, buy and sell Harley Davidson dealerships around the country, about 10 of them. I purchased them for an owner, and the minimum price has been about $7 million. Then I would come in as their CFO, run it for a couple years, then take off to the next venture. And I did that for 15 years. And so I've taken a lot of that experience, a lot of that knowledge, a lot of those investors, and I brought them with me here. And now, that I've spent time here, sat with the land, sat with my creator, the ancestors, I'm now on a massive journey that is bringing us into the space where we actually thrive, and that is in the agriculture space, and actually changing the landscape and the framework of what it is to own the agriculture space. Because while we farm, and the view we have of farming, we think about big farming, those are multi-million, billion, trillion-dollar operations and industries that we absolutely should have been leading in, but we're now trying to catch up because we only own about a very, very small fraction of the land is still under our stewardship. And now it's time to go back and reclaim ancestral land, even if it's not on our ancestors' land, but the Americas is our land jointly. And we need to make sure that we go back and get what was granted to us and not wait for permission, but we have strategies on how to go about that. And I'll land there. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Now, I'm seeing here From the soil to sovereignty, reclaiming wealth, wellness, and legacy through agriculture and cannabis. How and, well, not how, but what made you take this path? What were the things that may have inspired you or even, pushed you to take this journey?
Thank you. Great question. I'll say this. For 5 years, I've been building out an empire. It is called Black Warrior Enterprise, and all of my companies fall within that. But as I've been taking on these business ventures one by one and working with, usually established businessmen in this space, what I realized, especially coming on spaces in Clubhouse, and you'll find me, oops, sorry, you'll find me sitting in the audience just listening to figure out what's the lane to connect with the youth. I'm an elder. I'm 63 years old, female black farmer. Um, and I know I'm going to be leaving my estate to my heirs and as well as folks who are partner with me. But how do I expand that? Because now that I have access, how do I help those who say I want to um, follow my lane, whether it's for personal reasons, financial reasons, or whatever? And so this movement, and it's a movement, came out of that. And I will say, Glock, thanks to you, because you and I have been talking over several years and kind of starting and sharing ideas and things. But I've decided to formalize and to put that framework, put my money where my mouth is, because I've now established some things for myself. But how do I pour back into the youth? So this is primarily youth focused, to do the things we talk about in these spaces and other spaces. And where will the resources come from to make that happen? So I'll say this, just to kind of land there here, is the commitment to me is not just the organization which starting out as a nonprofit, but that 25% of all the revenue and resources that are generated, more the profit, 25% of that will go back into investing into farms, urban gardens, communities, helping us learn how to not just feed ourselves, but how to be profitable while we do that.
Okay, I like that. Now, from your perspective, what is the state of our soil and why does agriculture matter now?
Okay, so agriculture has always mattered, but we weren't in as dire situations we are now. The state of the soil is, I can only speak for the South, because that's where I've roamed, that's where I live, that's where my ancestors settled, and that's where I harvest from. I harvest out of the Black Belt, which is the richest land in all of America, the United States of America. It's the Alabama, Mississippi, there's sort of this corridor, and it's some of the richest, most fertile land. But truly, we can grow anywhere. We can grow, and I hear this in spaces, and it's true. We can grow in our balcony, we can grow indoors. Most importantly about this is we need to know what we eat and where it comes from. And more importantly, if we can grow with our own hands, that is going to be the most healthy, nutritious food for us. And in times where we don't really know what's in our food, and if you're a conspiracy theorist, kind of like myself somewhat, I'm not really comfortable with purchasing things out of stores. I mean, now there's rumor about them putting all kinds of things, pharmaceutical things in our food. So I personally have kind of moved off grid with my food, as well as brought many folks with me. And that's something I think that is not going to be hard to do if we start now. We can work collectively in a community to make sure that we have the essentials of what we need to sustain ourselves and not rely on the system. And secondly, because food prices are so freaking high for no reason other than it's all imported, and all those costs are really mounting, where if we grew it ourselves, it would cost us just a fraction of that.
So you do, well, I don't want to say you believe in the conspiracy because I think that is actually true that the pharmaceutical companies are changing the way we eat to change internally how we are as human beings.
I agree. Even
Okay.
before I knew about it, I'd started. So this is a spiritual journey for me. So I got several downloads before I really understood the significance, but I'm more doubled down now because I'm not starting the journey. I'm on the journey. And as I hear more, and the demand is becoming great, like resounds in my ear, wakes me up 2, 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to be a part of the solution. So that is really I think the catalyst one for you and I connecting, and for holding spaces like this, and not just this one time, but really to change. how we look at food, how we interact with food, and let's put this very important part of our spirituality, our life, and who we are, and our children into our own hands.